Andre Drummond puts up monster numbers. He recently put up an 8th 2020 game. He'll get his 4th rebounding title. Teams seem to be lining up. Rumors about, the Celtics, the Mavericks, the Hawks, the Hornets, the Knicks. Somebody was gonna get a difference maker. And then this.
The market has been really slow for Andre Drummond. He's got that player option for this year. He can become an unrestricted free agent. If he declines it, that's been the Pistons' expectation is. But this is a player right now who it has been quiet. It may pick up between now and the trade deadline, but there is not a real market out there right now for Drummond.
What? Say it ain't so, Woj. I mean, yeah, he'll be a rental, but we see those trades all the time. Remember, Indiana got Victor Oladipo for a few guaranteed months of Paul George, Jimmy Butler for Dario Saric and Robert Covington. Even Phoenix got Kelly Oubre Jr. for a few months of Trevor Ariza. This is Andre frickin' Drummond. Well, in this video, we'll break down why no one wants to pay a similar asking price for this guy, and the weird way that China and Daryl Morey both factor in. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Hit subscribe because we're coming out with quality NBA videos Monday through Friday. They're all released at 6 Eastern. Also hit me up on Twitter at Casey Kiernan and over on Instagram at AM Hoops. So look, by the time you watch this video, Drummond may have already been traded, or not. The likelihood is though, if he was traded, the Pistons didn't get much. What did Detroit want? They wanted a first-round pick or a promising young player. What does Andre Drummond want? He wants to opt out of his almost $29 million player option and make even more money in free agency. And I'll tell you this, they're both delusional. I won't make you wait to the end of the video. No one seems to want to trade for Andre Drummond because he's way too overpriced, both by the Pistons and Drummond himself. Let's look at what Drummond is and what he is not. Drummond is the game's best rebounder. He's a very good passer. He's a pretty good rim protector. He's okay. And very good at defending the pick and roll. He's also among the league leaders in both deflections and contested shots. What he isn't, switchable, a floor spacer, and consistent. Basically what winning NBA teams look like these days. The consistency thing can be summed up with this Cavs game in January. A close, late game the Pistons hadn't scored in a while, a non-aggressive, left-handed scoop, and a miss. And I said game's best rebounder, so why is he going in with one hand here, only for Colin Sexton to get the board? A key board late in the game. And I know that's just one game, but Pistons fans see that time and time again. And as for being switchable and a floor spacer, in other words, he is an old school NBA center. Recently, ESPN dove deep on why the big man is dying, and the big takeaways are this. NBA teams are going further away from the big man bread and butter, the post-up. In 2013-14, there were 15.4 post-ups per 100 possessions. Now, it's just 8.3. That's almost a 50% drop. Why? Because the analytics nerds in the back of the room say that post-ups are inefficient. And they're right. If a team switches, which most really good teams do nowadays, and they get a smaller guy onto a big, a good post player will shoot about 60% on that post-up. That's 1.2 points per possession. And for the record, Drummond is the second most efficient qualified post-up player at 54.5% on that shot. Less than 1.2 points per possession. But if that same big is guarding that same small guy and he makes just 50% of his threes, that's 1.5 points per possession. So theoretically, if an opponent gets a smart matchup on Andre Drummond, he's in big trouble. The other reason why a traditional big man game is becoming less and less prevalent in the NBA isn't just that it's inefficient and over time you score less points with the post up. It's just logic. A one-on-one play usually results in two things, a made basket or a defensive rebound change of possession. But how many times have you seen a missed three result in an offensive rebound, then another kick out to another three, or a layup? You see that all the time. In today's game, big men can just do more. They can dribble, they can shoot. The last MVP center, Shaq in 2000. Now, I'm not saying Andre Drummond scores exclusively from the post-up, but he can't space the floor. He's just not Joel Embiid or Karl Anthony Towns. Basically, Andre Drummond is a flip phone, and the other AD, Anthony Davis, is an iPhone. But they're both cell phones, right? Yeah, if all you want to do is make a phone call and play Snake, maybe. But would you buy a Nokia these days, or a flip phone, for an iPhone price? Hell no. The price tag for Drummond's services could be steep, too, in the offseason. Drummond has said he wants to test free agency. He said, quote, "Yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited. I think I'm the only one that has a big contract coming up that year." Are you gonna tell him? Because I'm not going to. That could be awkward. This dude is a veteran, which means if he's seeking a max contract, that would pay him about $34 million next season. $200 million overall. In 2020, that would make him the 8th highest player, just below Kevin Durant. Andre Drummond, need I say more? To think that a team would use 30% of their cap space on a player like Andre Drummond is NBA suicide. Plus, not many teams are able to take on that kind of salary. This is the list of the teams with the most projected cap space. The only teams that could even fit Drummond are Atlanta, Memphis, and New York. Memphis doesn't need him. They got Jonas Valanciunas. The New York Knicks, for some reason, there are rumors that they do want him, but they've got Mitchell Robinson, who's shown a ton of promise that makes no sense. And that leaves the Hawks. So why the heck would the Hawks pay Detroit's asking price of a first-round pick or a valuable young guy for someone they could sign in a few months? They won't. But maybe that means the Pistons are about to lower their asking price, because secretly, they would never say this out loud, they don't want Drummond back. They don't want him to pick up that $29 million player option for next year. All that would do is set back their rebuild another year, and teams don't want to spend any more time in NBA hell than they have to. Start the rebuild now. And think about it, Drummond, $29 million for 1 year of work? Not bad. But yeah, it would be bad for the Pistons. I mean, they're stuck with Blake Griffin, we get that. But things could get really tight if they have to add Andre Drummond into that cap sheet. I mean, if he ups in $29 million for next year, the Pistons have almost zero room to get better. ESPN reported that the cap won't increase like they thought it would next year. Turns out Daryl Morey's old tweet cost a lot of money, like $150 million to $200 million for one tweet. So Drummond will take up even more of their salary cap. After paying Drummond, Griffin, their 2020 first round pick, they'll be left with about $5 to $7 million to sign a free agent. That'll get you a guy like Marco Bellinelli or Jabari Parker. Good times. So if this drop in the projected cap space does make the Pistons motivated to move Andre Drummond, they could lower their asking price. That means we could see Andre Drummond for Courtney Lee and Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I am not a fan of this trade at all. Never mind the fact that Mavs fans are currently writing all caps curse word comments at me about including THJ. But also, part of why the Mavs play great offense is the lane is open. Luka Doncic handling the ball, shooting threes, making layups, drive and kick. A Drummond trade could risk breaking the most efficient offense in the NBA by clogging up the paint. What about the Celtics? This is really the only trade that works. Andre Drummond and Tim Frazier for Gordon Hayward. I'm not sure how many Boston fans would go for that. So what about the Hawks? Chandler Parsons and Alex Len. All right, now this could work. This is the first trade scenario that we've dreamed up that I could actually see happening. 2 expiring contracts. The only thing Detroit gets back is cap space this summer. Finally, the Knicks. And this one's really interesting because the Pistons' initial offer to the Knicks was leaked. The Pistons wanted Julius Randle and Frank Ntilikina. Ntilikina, of course, a young point guard, could still mature into a good player. They've tried to pry him away before, but the Knicks said no then, and they say no now. A lower asking price would look like Julius Randle and Taj Gibson. Not very exciting if you're a Pistons fan, much less attractive, but at least they can start that rebuild a year early. Now, I would end this by feeling sorry for Andre Drummond, asking you to feel sorry for him. saying the position has changed, he missed the boat. But no, dude got a 5-year, $127 million deal in that second contract with the Detroit Pistons, so no one's feeling bad for him. But between that last deal and this next deal, things have changed. No one wants to pay for an iPhone and get a damn Nokia. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a weekly NBA video.